All right. So, how do I how do I start this topic? Now, for those who are longtime fans of my channel, know that I used to do only freebase videos. No articles, I just went off the cuff about something that seriously pisses me off. Well, today I am doing that again because last night, on Saturday, September 21st, the US declared war on Iran. How did they do that? By bombing their nuclear facilities. Now, Iran claims that they moved their things a while ago, and we have video of trucks by the Fordo nuclear power plant that like a day before, 2 days before the strikes. So they knew something was up. But let me start from the beginning. How did we get here? So, about 10 days ago, I think it was, maybe a little less, Israel decided to start attacking Iran. And the reason they gave is because they were weeks away from getting a nuclear weapon. And that would have been a good reason. It would have been if it hadn't been that Bibi has been saying the same shit for decades. Seriously, he has been trying to goad people into attacking Iran by claiming that they're a few weeks away from getting a nuclear weapon without any evidence for that. Even our own intelligence communities says that they are not close to having a nuclear weapon. But, facts never mattered to Bibi, and they sure as hell don't matter to Trump. Because he actually went out and said he does not care what Tulsi Gabbard says. Which I cannot believe he actually got me rooting for Tulsi Gabbard. What the hell is happening in this world? I'm agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene that we shouldn't go to war with Iran. I'm now agreeing with Tulsi Gabbard. Am I in the fucking Twilight Zone? What the hell? Anyway, so they started attacking Iran, and of course Iran started attacking back because, that's the kind of thing you do. If someone attacks you, you're going to attack them right back, which nobody can blame them. Now, is Iran a state sponsor of terrorism? Yes. Am I pro the Ayatollah? Absolutely not. However, that does not mean that you should attack them. It's kind of funny how after the attack, Trump mentioned that Iran will not be able to bully people anymore. What the hell do you think you just did? You and Israel are tag team bullying Iran. So, Israel lost some civilians, and Iran has lost even more civilians in this war with Israel. My understanding is there were some not casualties, but some injuries sustained in these attacks, but luckily none of them is from nuclear fallout, so that's great. But, Iran is going to find a way to get us back. The last time we attacked Iran, which was Trump deciding that Qasem Soleimani was such a danger that we needed to take him out. So they assassinated him. So Iran attacked bases of ours in Iraq, and nobody died, but a bunch of soldiers ended up with traumatic brain injury, which I'm not entirely sure is actually better than death. But Trump then, decided, okay, let's not escalate this. Let's stop this. Now he says that he wants peace. Bitch, you gave up that desire for peace when you attacked a sovereign country. And not only did you attack them, you lied to them. You told them that, oh, I'll make a decision within 2 weeks. Which most people would think that they had, if not the full 2 weeks, close to it. Nope, they had 2 days. And Trump wanted diplomacy. I'm sorry, bombing them to hell is not diplomacy. And he also now says, oh, now Iran needs to surrender and they need to accept peace. It's like, you attacked them. Israel attacked them. What are you talking about? This is the same shit as he's doing with Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine needs to sign a peace deal. They have to come to the table and accept peace. As if they're the ones who did the fighting. That they're the ones who attacked Russia. It's the same thing here. Yes, Iran has proxies, which are terrorist organizations. Absolutely. However, my understanding is they have very little control over what these terrorist organizations do. So, which you might question, why are they our proxies then? But, we give weapons to Israel without any thought and then do this lukewarm, oh no, don't do that, like destroying Gaza. So, and still we give them weapons even when we're like, no, don't do that. Anyway, so now Trump wants peace, but Israel wants regime change, and Trump is suggesting that regime change is a cool idea. So apparently, before the bombing, they tried to back channel with Erdogan, the leader of Turkey, but they couldn't get a hold of the supreme leader. Why? Well, Israel and even the U.S. are suggesting killing the supreme leader. So, of course, he's hiding out in a bunker. Because that's what you do when people threaten to kill you. It's really not that hard. So, they couldn't get a hold of the supreme leader. So, those talks fell through. Which, again, how is this Iran's fault? That he is just trying to stay alive. And the funny thing is about the regime change thing is that there were protests in Iran for months. And so most Iranians do not like this regime. They tried to topple this regime. There was even rumors that the Ayatollah is sick. So most Iranians do not like this regime. However, they like regime change at the tail end of a gun even less. I mean, seriously, what are we doing here? Yes, this regime sucks. Most Iranians will agree with you. However, they should be the ones to decide the future of Iran, not a bunch of people who fearmonger outside of the country. That's not how it works. Besides, we tried doing regime change once in Iran about 40 years ago when the Shah was installed. That was favorable to the U.S. And ever since then, Iran has been shouting death to America because, well, we destabilized the country. And so the hardliners, the Muslim hardliners, overthrew the Shah. And now we have people resentful of the U.S. because we meddled in their affairs, tried to put in a government favorable to the U.S., or at least that's what we thought, completely ignoring the will of the people. I agree. They should be able to have true, free, and fair elections, which they do not have. Technically, they have elections, but not really. I mean, the supreme leader picks who is going to run, and so you basically have a list of meh to horrible choices. You really don't have a choice in your government. You don't have the large swaths of different ideas as other countries have. They don't even have what the U.S. has, which is two main parties that encompass a wide range of views that you can choose from. Because, and even if you chose someone more moderate, he still has the supreme leader that he has to go through. So it's not like it's completely up to him what the policy of Iran is going to be. So there is that. So obviously this regime needs to go. However, during those protests, never once did they ask for outside help. These were protests within Iran, many of them by women who did things like burn their hijabs, all to protest this regime. And many of them were arrested, some were killed. So, but these were a bunch of people who stood up to the regime. Now, by doing this, we have done the one thing that this regime could not do, and that is unify Iran. Because it's like you bitching about a family member. You say this about them, you say that about them, but God forbid someone on the outside says the same thing. You are going, depending on the circumstance, of course, you are going to protect that family member because you're allowed to say those things, but nobody else is. So it's a similar thing here. Yes, we don't like our regime. We hate our government. However, That's for us. That's for us to deal with, not for you. So, yeah, that's where we're at so far. Plus, we don't even know if those nuclear sites have been destroyed completely. So, absolutely nothing about this is actually beneficial to the U.S. and definitely not Israel. We don't know when, because we know that Iran is going to retaliate. It's just a matter of when. And they are willing to bide their time to do that. So there is that. So they're biding their time. What they're going to end up doing, who knows? Apparently, there are people in the government who are concerned about sleeper cells within the U.S. Whether that's true or just made up paranoia, because I don't trust a word this government says. I don't trust a word the Israeli government says. I'm not sure whether to trust the Iranian government. And the fact that I cannot trust anybody, any of the main players in this conflict, isn't a great look. Because you have to rely on completely outside forces to get to the truth. And if nobody's there to give that truth, things are going to get worse and worse. So, let's see if there's anything else I want to cover about this conflict. So far, that's where we're at. Iran has not, well, they retaliated against Tel Aviv. But, like I said, they've been trading missile fire for like a week and a half, so. But they haven't retaliated against us yet. It's only a matter of time. And we will have deserved it. Because not only did we attack a sovereign nation, and Iran threatened that you attack us, we're going to retaliate because, well, duh. Not only that, but like I said before, they lied. The U.S., Iran was under the impression that Trump was going to keep giving diplomacy a chance. Only to discover that no, he lied. He went ahead and attacked after not 2 weeks, but 2 days. Simply because, first it was, like I said, to stop their nuclear program because, we want them to have a civil nuclear program, but we don't want them to make weapons. What are the chances that Iran had no interest in making a nuclear weapon, but suddenly they're going to be interested? Why? Well, they need to protect themselves now because everybody's against them. Now, another self-inflicted wound from Trump is that in, 2007, 2008? I think it was 2008, but I'm not completely sure. Barack Obama signed a nuclear deal with Iran called the JCPOA. And it was having its desired effect. It was keeping the Iranians' nuclear program in check. They were getting checked by the United Nations, that everything was running smoothly, and that as long as they stayed within the bounds of the JCPOA, sanctions would be lifted. So it's a win-win for everybody. Trump, because he is a huge-ass man-baby and hates Barack Obama with a burning passion, And all I can think is racism, because he was the big instigator of the birther movement, claiming that Obama was actually born in Kenya instead of Hawaii. So he ripped up the agreement simply because his name wasn't on the agreement, it was Obama's. So fast forward to today, that's what started things off. Now, why Biden never re-entered the agreement, I don't know if it was a matter of the Iranians, even though Biden was president, still were weary of the Americans because, well, okay, Biden is president now, but what's to stop Trump from getting back and ripping up the agreement again? Which, you can't blame them. That's a really good, really sound logic, which probably would have ended up happening. So yeah, nobody trusts us now, which is awesome. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to mention in this video. I think I covered everything I wanted to. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.